Hey guys, what's going on? RetroGamer here, and welcome back to another review featuring the 620-in-1 entertainment system. So, at first glance, this looks like an NES Classic, but in reality, it's one of those NES Classic clones that don't really offer what you were expecting. But we're going to get to a little bit of that in the review as we go on here. But I wanted to tell you a story about this because I personally wouldn't buy this myself, but my mom and my stepdad found an ad for this. I'm guessing it was like on Wish or something, maybe Amazon. And they accidentally bought not one, not two, but three of these things. And so they decided to give me one of them, and I've played around with it a little bit. I think it's hilarious, but as I said, I wouldn't buy this thing personally. And we're going to get into the review, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of why I wouldn't buy it, and maybe you should not buy this either. But the 620-in-1 entertainment system is actually kind of interesting. We're going to look a little bit at the box here. The box looks pretty good, actually. Like, I think they did a good job on the art style, and I think they did a good job with marketing it. It looks pretty legit, honestly. As it says here, new game mini game anniversary edition, entertainment system built-in 620 classic games. That is questionable. We'll get to that. NTSL/PAL. I'm guessing they meant like NTSC. 620 classic built-in games. The controllers are pretty interesting. We're going to get to those a little bit as well, but as you see here, they have some turbo buttons. Pretty interesting. Classic game collection. Another interesting thing about this is it has AV out. It doesn't offer HDMI, it just offers AV out, which is interesting as well. The side, not really much offered, just 620 built in. They're really pushing the 620 built-in games. That is questionable. Moving on to the box on the inside, we flip it open, and not too much going on here, but it looks really well packaged. As we see here, this is your AV. This is for the power, so it has a micro USB. So you can't just use like any standard. Those are not a whole lot of people have those anymore. So this is the controller itself. So it has the regular AV and then the turbo AV, which is actually really nice, and it feels pretty good in general. The D-pad is clicky. It doesn't really feel like your standard NES controller, so playing games is kind of difficult with it, but in general it does feel pretty well. They did do a pretty fair job. And then the port here for where you plug it in, and this comes with two controllers, which is actually a pretty nice feature. Like, not a whole lot of things offer two controllers, so that's pretty nice. So you can play some two-player games. Granted, I don't know how many two-player games there's on here. There's a lot of different games. And then before we get to the NES Classic, oh, not NES Classic, the 620, this is the cable that you use, so it's just an AV, not HDMI. TVs still have the AV, so you should be good, but you might need to get a down converter or a downgrader. Moving on to the console itself, this is the entertainment system. It is extremely light. This thing is super light. There's not a whole lot going on, just says entertainment system. It looks pretty good though, honestly. I didn't ever own the NES Classic, but it looks pretty fair. Then you got the power and then the reset. You got the two ports, and there's not a whole lot more going on with that. Inside, you have the user manual, but what I wanted to look at were the minigame console. So this is the list for the games that are built in, and you see there are some like legit titles. You know, you see Contra 1 and 2, and then you see 3, 6, 7, and 8. I don't know what happened to 4 and 5. Those are probably trash. And then, you know, you see some titles that you know, and then titles you don't know, like Mario 14. What is Mario 14, and where's Mario 13 at? Like, they're just games on here that are just, I don't know. Like, that's the thing, I just don't know. Snow Bros, I've seen that before. I mean, the problem also is, it says 620 games, but a lot of these are repeats. You know, I mean, it's not 620 original. It's like, you know, you get 20 versions of Mario 14 and, you know, 18 versions of Contra 2. It's just, that's just what irritates me about this thing. And also with the games, like, with the, like, actual, like, legit games that you could play on this, like, Back to the Future, for example, I did try that, and, like, it's just a broken version. Like, I don't really get it. Like, how could you make that game broken? But that could be a completely different topic. In general, you know, this thing is just one of those cheap clones, as we've seen throughout the years. And, you know, you're hoping you get something good, but in the end, you just get something that's just not good. So, as I said, I personally wouldn't buy this myself, and I really wouldn't recommend this either. It's kind of a fun thing to have. Like, if you buy it, like, it's kind of a fun thing to play every once in a while. It has some really interesting games on there, but in general, it's just not really good. And if you're looking to get like an actual NES classic, I would get that. This is not your alternative, but that's really all I have to say about this thing. Guys, that was my review on the 620 built-in classic NES thing, whatever. I don't know what this is. So guys, if you like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys back here with another review. See you guys then.